guys ready to talk about some Star Wars books? Good. Hello everyone, welcome to my May the 4th video. Today, I am going to try my best to get you all to read Star Wars The High Republic. Because I generally think that these books aren't talked enough about in the Star Wars community. Now, before we actually get... Oh, God. That's a lot of book. Now, before we actually start talking about those books, I want to talk about today's sponsor. Me. So I have a Star Wars... That was stupid. I have a Star Wars RPG podcast called RPG Talkers. It's kind of like D&D. We play Star Wars, Edge of the Empire, Age of the Rebellion, Force and Destiny. Kind of merge the game systems together. And, we play a story. If you like Dungeons & Dragons or, Star Wars, which I'm sure you watching this love some Star Wars like I do. So, check it out. Link in the description. I'll leave a link to the trailer, to the podcast in the comments section below if you guys want to check it out. But this video is mainly going to be talking about these 5 High Republic books. I did pick up today the YA trilogy. It's still in the plastic. I haven't read any of these. As far as I know, these 3 books take place in between these 5 books. And speaking of these... Speaking of these 5 books, let's go over them real quick. We got book number 1, The Light of the Jedi. Beautiful cover. Book number 2, The Rising Storm. Book 3, Tempest Runner. Fun fact about this book, this is actually a audio play or something on Audible. They made it a book, so when you read it, it's actually a script. It's really cool. Book 4, The Falling Star. And book 5, the newest release, The Eye of Darkness. This is a sick cover, if I have to say so myself. Now, it should go without saying that I'm not going to talk about everything that's in these books, because that'll be a long ass video. Instead, I'm going to focus on a few characters, maybe give some slight spoilers, and hopefully I'll help you guys get interested in reading the books, because like I said earlier, I don't see a lot of people talking about them. Now, the first character I would like to talk about is Bel Zettifar. He's the first Jedi we meet in The Light of the Jedi. He is a dark-skinned human with copper eyes. I think he's in his late teens when we meet him. He's apprenticed to Loden Greystorm, a green Twi'lek. Yes, a green Twi'lek male. And I think later on Indira Stokes becomes his master. Now, Bel is a great Jedi. He reminds me a lot of Kaladin Stormblessed, if you ever read the Stormlight Archives by Brandon Sanderson. Actually, thinking about it, a lot of the series reminds me of the Stormlight Archives. Yeah, we're not going to get into that. Let's just focus. So, Bel, throughout all these books, is the Jedi we spend the most time with. We learn about him the most. All he wants to do is save people. Save his friends, his Jedi Master, civilians, his dog companion. Yes, Bel has a dog companion. Her name is Ember. She's a little, I think, charhound. Well, not little. She's quite big. But either way, Bel is a great Jedi. He does everything that a Jedi is supposed to do. When you think Jedi, like what the image of a Jedi should be, that's Bel. And because of that, Bel sometimes comes off as a little I want to say bland, but he's not bland. Like, there's a lot more to Bell in the books than what I'm telling you. Again, this is me trying to get you guys to read the books. But Bell doesn't have like an inner darkness like other Jedi. He just wants to save people, and like, there's nothing wrong with that. I love Bell. Bell's one of my favorite characters. I wouldn't be talking about Bell if I didn't like him. And sometimes people, when they hear that a character only wants to save people, they think he's boring or something. Kind of like Will and Baldur's Gate 3 or Karlach. They think, they're simple, so they're not that good. And I've seen some people say that about Bell, and I think that's very, like, not true, because Bell goes through it, just doesn't as much as some other characters. You know what I mean? Bell, at the end of Light of the Jedi, Bell becomes what I would say the best example of a Jedi Padawan. And later on, he becomes the best example of a Jedi Knight. And I'm really trying to avoid spoilers. So, just read the books. Now, if Bell is the best example of a Jedi during the High Republic era, the worst example of a Jedi Master is Elzar Mann. So, Elzar Mann is very complicated. He's one of my personal favorite characters in the entire series. In fact, in Light of the Jedi, we are introduced to Elzar Mann as this light skin, dark hair, blue eyes, very preppy dude. And he wakes up drunk from a one-night stand. Yeah, that's Elzar. He's also on the Jedi Council. Now, that description alone of me telling you about Elzar probably turned you off, because you're like, Jedi? How dare they do that? So, let me tell you something about Elzar. So, in The Rising Storm, also, I guess, slight spoilers. I know I said I was going to talk about spoilers all that much, but I think this part is kind of necessary to understand Elzar a little bit more. So, Elzar Mann is witnessing the attack on the Grand Republic Fair. The Grand Republic Fair is supposed to be the celebration event of Starlight Beacon being built. It's supposed to have all the cultures from around the galaxy, just celebrating everyone being here. And the Nihil are just bombing everything, killing civilians. Elzar sees the dead bodies piling up, sees the chaos, and he just feels so much hate, so much passion, so much, I guess, anxiety about everything, right? He just feels powerless. Now, in the first book, he is filled with passion and love for a certain character. He has a bit of a romance. I just smacked my mic. And in this book, that passion turns against him, and he falls hard to the dark side. And there's this Nihil ship that's just bombarding this section of the city. And he fully embraces the dark side, like I said, and the ship blows up. Elzar blows up a freaking ship. And Bell is also there, and he's like, Bell is like, whoa, whoever did that is a powerful person. And for the rest of the series, the Fallen Star and Eye of Darkness, Elzar, he is trying his hardest to not fall to the dark side. He cuts off from the Force, and he is just not in a good place, if I'm being honest. And it has me worried. So yeah, Elzar, man, is complicated. There's a lot more to him in the books than what I just told you. I just told you one scene about Elzar. You got 4 books full of scenes with Elzar in them. I love Elzar. Now, Avar Kriss is the next Jedi that I would like to talk about. She's described as a white human female. I think she also has blue eyes with short blonde hair. She honestly doesn't have a lot going on in the first 3 books, at least nothing that I can remember personally. She really took off a lot for me in the Eye of Darkness, because this book is the first 3 books, Light of the Jedi, Rising Storm, and Falling Star, were the Bell Zettifar show. This book is the Elzar and Avar show, because you spend a lot of time with Avar, you learn about her, and that works, right? This book made me realize that I wish that I could have seen more of Avar. Now, to be fair, I read all these books once, really quickly. I think in a span of like 2 to 3 months. So there's probably scenes of Avar that I just don't remember, and that kind of sucks because like the Eye of Darkness, Avar is an amazing character. She does a lot of stuff to save civilians from Nihil space, to try and get back with Elzar, to get back to the Jedi, and she's just a fantastic Jedi. Now, she has a really sweet reunion with Elzar Mann. Oh yeah, I guess I probably should mention. So her and Elzar are the 2 love interests throughout these books that we follow. And at first, I was kind of like, ugh, romance in my Star Wars books. Then I really started like, I guess, appreciating the romance, because I started to really care about Avar. Because like I said, the first 3 books is the Bell Zettifar show, and then this book is the Avar show. Seeing her perspective on Elzar versus just seeing Elzar's perspective on her kind of shines a light on how much they actually care about each other, and I really appreciate that. So that was a brief overview of the 3 Jedi that I think best represent the books. Now, we're going to talk about the big bad of the series, the Nihil. Now, I brought them up a few times, so let me tell you about them. The Nihil are a band of marauders, right? And they pillage, steal all kinds of shit. People, drugs, weapons, space parts, anything that they could get their hands on. They will raid that planet and just take it for themselves. And they are led by this dude, Marchion Ro, and his Tempest runners, a green Twi'lek woman named Lorna D, an orange Dowenton male named Pan Ada, a Weeklay male named Kosiv, and they do some terrible shit in Light of the Jedi. Like, some terrible stuff in Light of the Jedi. I'm not going to get into it too much, because I don't want to talk about everything in the books. Maybe I'll do a whole video talking about all the books later on. I don't know. But they use these things called paths. Now, paths are hidden, small hyperspace links that their ships can slip into and just escape into anywhere. And for all the series, that is the Jedi's biggest problem, is how the hell do the Nihil have paths? They've been trying to figure out for all these books, and Marchion gives the paths to the Tempest Runners, who the Tempest Runners give it to their crews, and that's how they do their jobs. Now, Marchion might be my favorite Star Wars villain. Granted, I haven't really read a whole lot of Star Wars media outside of these 5 books. I'm very new to reading Star Wars books. I picked the canon stuff because it was safe, but I'm dabbling a little bit into some non-canon stuff now. And bringing it back to Marchion. So Marchion is insanely evil, just insanely evil for no reason, and I love it. He believes he is right. He's on this destructive path to just wipe out as many Republic, Jedi, anyone that supports any of those people, civilians, just anyone, off the face of the galaxy. And he doesn't even want to rule the galaxy. He just wants to purge it. I forgot what his exact line of dialogue is in Eye of Darkness, but essentially he's just a madman And in The Rising Storm, he introduces this new threat to the Jedi. I don't want to talk about it too much, but essentially, a slight spoiler. This new threat eats the living force, and he unleashes it on the Jedi. Yeah. Marchion. He tortures a dude on live broadcast across the whole galaxy to see, giving this insane speech about how he's going to purge it all, while he has this force-eating parasite, and he just is laughing hysterically when the Jedi dies. Yeah, that's Marchion. Marchion Ro. He's a fucking badass. And a scumbag, a crazy person, the worst that the books have to offer. And honestly, even though I honestly don't know why he wants to purge the galaxy or like just throw it all away, I'm down. Like, give me an insane villain. Doesn't have to be too deep. Just, he has to believe it, and he believes it. He is gung-ho. Now, I will say, I've talked about, those 4 books quite a bit. This book right here, Tempest Runner, is basically all about, like, Lorna Dee, where you learn a lot about Lorna Dee and her backstory. So, I'm not really going to talk about this too much, because this is kind of like I guess, a short story. It's not short, but, like, this book, you could skip it and it has no effect on the rest of these books. That was a very basic, rushed summary of these 5 books. And, like I said, maybe if people are interested, I could talk about these books more in depth. Oh shit, let's touch on them. I love these books, and I really wanted to talk about them for a while. And I figured May the 4th is a perfect time to talk about them, because I don't see a lot of people talking about them. Even on the Star Wars subreddit, people are more focused on the TV shows. But, check out the books, read them. If you have read the books, comment below your favorite character. Like, there's a lot of characters in these books. There's a Wookiee Jedi named Bar Yaga. That's Bell Zettifar's best friend. They haven't talked about him. There's Stellan Gios. That's Elzar Mann's best friend. Indira Stokes, Bell's second master. If you're wondering what happened to Loden, read the books. Let's see. There's quite a bit of characters. Oh my God. There's a Portal Engle, the Blade. That dude is fucking cool. He might be my second favorite Jedi out of all the books. Actually, I really would have to think about that, because I love Portal Engle. There's a lot of characters in the books. Grand Chancellor Lena Sode. She's important throughout all 5 of these books. Haven't talked about her once, or her son. Yeah, there's a lot. There's so much in these books, and I hope I did my best to tell you why these books are awesome, why you should read them. Reading has become one of my favorite things. Reading books, manga, comic books. In fact, after I get done recording this, I'm going to make a video about my top 5 books right now, because I'm, I guess, entering this new phase in reading, where I'm just experimenting with, like, new stuff. And speaking of videos coming out, like I said, check out the RPG Talkers podcast. I'm going to make a video about my Warhammer army back there at some point. I'm also working on a Hellboy video. The Hellboy comics are, like, incredible. I've been rereading them, because I haven't read them since... I think I haven't read them in, like, 2 years. But I've been rereading them. I was like, man, that'd be a cool video if I talk about the Hellboy comics, because there's a lot in here. And then later on, maybe, depending on, how everything goes, I want to make a video eventually about the Witcher comics. So yeah, there's gonna be a few videos that I'm gonna be working on: the Warhammer, Hellboy, my top 5 books, Witcher comics, and I think this is the kind of videos that I want to make. Is just talking about the stuff that I like instead of making video game content. Yeah, that's all I got. And yeah, I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.